Tonight on High Alert, why federal officials are warning of potential domestic terrorism and what it means for Minnesota. And equipping the next generation, how a local project is helping kids be better prepared to take on the future. Plus a major shift, why the region has seen a dramatic decrease in the need for childcare.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us tonight. After about a year of gripping the nation, the pandemic is claiming lives in more ways than one, as overdose deaths are at record highs. Between June of 2019 and May of 2020, the CDC reported more than 81,000 overdose-related deaths across the country. That's the highest ever recorded in a 12-month period. CBS 3's Emma Quinn shares what the data looks like in the Twin Ports and the fears local police departments have during the pandemic.
Opioid overdoses and deaths are on the rise in the United States, including here in the Twin Ports.
In 2020, 55 overdoses. That's definitely 55 too many for us.
The Superior Police Department says 7 of the overdoses from 2020 were fatal. In 2019, the department responded to 45 incidents, with 6 resulting in a death. Officials say the pandemic likely played a role.
Especially at the beginning of the pandemic, people are having to stay indoors a little more often, not be able to see their friends. I certainly think that that would add a level of stress to individuals.
Across the bridge, Duluth police also saw overdose numbers rise in 2020.
You know, with the confinement and isolation, that just breeds problems for people that are experiencing substance use disorder.
Last year, Duluth police responded to 213 overdose-related incidents. In 2019, the number was 174. Both departments say not only are they seeing an increase in overdoses, but they're also administering the overdose reversal drug Narcan at higher rates.
There would be a lot more higher numbers that we'd be talking about right now if it wasn't for the fact that we're trained on the Narcan and that we're using it.
Both departments want people to know help is available. In Douglas County, there's the Pathways to Hope program. In Duluth, the opioid response team has recovery specialists and treatment options.
Meanwhile, Essentia unveiled its new mobile vaccine unit today. The hospital vaccinated about 45 essential workers at the Hills Youth and Family Services in Duluth. If your organization needs on-site vaccination help for current priority groups, we have a link to learn more on our website. Essentia is also vaccinating its patients age 65 and older. The hospital is using a randomized selection process and contacting those people to make appointments. They're mainly communicating through the online portal, MyChart. All right, let's get a quick look at the weather. Dave, chilly night out there, but it started a whole lot colder.
Yeah, it was bitterly cold, especially up north this morning once again. So here's one last look at this morning's temperatures from a couple-day cold snap, which is going away. So things are becoming much more mild. But this morning started off pert near close to 30 below from International Falls towards Ely, and Silver Bay and Hibbing, nothing to sneeze at either. And even into Wisconsin, it finally got pretty brisk. Solon Springs area down to 15 below. As usual, though, the Upper Peninsula was one of our warmer spots where the clouds were thicker and a little bit of light snow came across. And that is the focus of what's coming our way. There's the Arctic high pressure that kept us cold for about 3 days. It's moving to the north and off to the east, and that's going to allow a low pressure system to increase clouds, and that warm front there will bring up temperatures. And so that will actually already began today with high temperatures this afternoon, daring to go double digits above zero. And then tomorrow we'll crack 22 in the afternoon. That's 2 degrees warmer than normal after a morning start, around 7 above. Some towns could dip below zero tonight. I'll show you who that's going to be in just a couple of minutes. But bigger news perhaps is those Friday afternoon flurries could become a couple of inches of Saturday snow. We'll talk about the odds of that in just a bit.
Thanks, Dave. The Department of Homeland Security recently sent out a bulletin warning that domestic violent extremists may be emboldened by the breach of the U.S. Capitol building to target elected officials and government facilities. The DHS had only sent out this type of warning about terrorists inspired by foreign states or groups. Now, security leaders say domestic extremists could become a threat over the coming months. Aaron Hassanzadeh spoke with Minnesota FBI agents about who could pose the biggest threat here.
There certainly, I think, seems to be, unfortunately, a broader acceptance of the use of violence.
The FBI says thwarting domestic terrorism is a top priority, but it's also a moving target.
Over the last 5 years, I think we've seen significant evolution within domestic terrorism. We've seen a move away from group activity.
Michael Paul, the special agent in charge of the FBI Minneapolis field office, says that shift makes his work more difficult.
We definitely see that lone offender as the highest risk offender. These folks are much more difficult to detect because they don't have as much interpersonal contact with others.
But a lot of hate speech is protected, and a lot of crimes aren't considered terrorism. For the Bureau to consider something domestic terrorism, there needs to be the threat of force or violence, criminal activity, and some sort of ideology.
We look at, is it specific? Is it timely? How is it perceived by the recipient? We're careful not to target groups. We look at individual actors.
Maybe you've noticed the FBI asking for information on the Capitol riots on billboards like this one. It's a national campaign that's brought in more than 200,000 tips, and people from the Minneapolis FBI field office are still helping sift through them. While the Minneapolis FBI Bureau isn't tracking specific credible threats in Minnesota, it's preparing for the trial of fired MPD officer Derek Chauvin and keeping an eye on other potential triggers such as allegations of civil rights violations or government inaction or overreach.
There still is a lot of tension across the country, so we have to be mindful that there still is potential.
While the FBI uses surveillance and informants to gather intelligence, more than half of the field office's leads and tips come from the public. Daycare providers are saying the COVID-19 pandemic has shifted childcare in the Northland, making what was once a booming industry one that's now struggling to fill up slots. April Westman, owner of 2 Auntie's childcare locations in Duluth, says in her 11 years in the business, she's never had any issues filling up spaces. She says since the pandemic started, almost half of her families left. She also had to lay off 2 teachers. At one point, her preschool numbers were so low they had to consolidate classrooms. Westman says she's worried.
Losing providers right now that we will need after this all pans out, and whether it's herd immunity through the vaccine or natural immunity through having COVID already, there will come a time where we're not afraid anymore, and we're not going to have these providers that we need to rely on.
Westman blames this shift on the pandemic's pause. She says people aren't moving or getting new jobs. Many have also lost their jobs and cannot afford daycare. Starbase is an organization with a mission. They equip students with education opportunities in science, technology, engineering, and math. This is their first week of in-person operation after a massive expansion. CBS3's Kendall Jarbo shows us how the new facility is inspiring the next generation of leaders in the STEM field.
They're really acting like scientists and engineers, but at a 5th grade level.
Learning about science, technology, engineering, and math is not just for adults. That's where Starbase comes in. Based at the 148th Fighter Wing in Duluth, students are immersed in hands-on learning.
It's important for kids to learn about STEM because it's all around them. It's in their everyday life, it's in their work life, and we want to open their eyes to that and what those possibilities are.
The Duluth campus first opened in 2017, and it quickly reached capacity. With a completed expansion project, the new facility doubles the number of students they can take, hoping to reach more people all across northern Minnesota.
Because what we often see are kids who think that maybe they're not good at math or they're not good at science. We bring them up here and they just flourish because they're in such a different environment and they see learning in such a different way than maybe they normally do in their traditional classroom.
During the 1-week program, students learn about careers in STEM and methods of problem solving.
Because a lot of the things we do are challenging for them, especially when they're working in teams, and so it's fun to see them stick with it and get really excited about accomplishing something.
While STEM skills don't come easy, Starbase equips students with tools for life.
Failure's not a bad thing. You learn more from those failures than you do from your successes, and it's something we celebrate here.
Nice work, team. Now.
Schools who want to send their students to Starbase can now get on the wait list for the next school year. There's also a virtual learning option available. We have a link on our website, cbs3duluth.com. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, with the pandemic still going strong, many folks are trying new outdoor activities. How Glenn Sheen hopes to help next.
Almanac shows today's high temp in Duluth was 13 degrees above zero, warmer than yesterday. Not quite normal yet, but that could happen tomorrow. And then through the weekend, we could go even warmer. And that's when that extra heat energy could help trigger some snow. We'll talk about the latest theories on how much coming up right after the break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3. When severe weather hits, tune to CBS 3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Dr. Brett Friday, medical oncologist at Essentia Health, explains the importance of oncology clinical trials.
One of the big reasons that patients are part of clinical trials is to learn how to treat cancer better. And I think there's an altruistic benefit for every cancer patient who's receiving treatment. You know, they sort of reap the benefits of all the patients who were part of clinical trials in the past. We should always strive to get better. And that's what trials are. It's striving to get better. It's learning more about the cancer. And, you know, as an institution, I think Essentia's culture fits with that ideal. And I know that myself and my colleagues and everyone in the Cancer Center really feels that way.
Clinical trials through Essentia are safe thanks to multiple levels of independent review, and they afford patients anonymity.
Our rural geography in northern Minnesota is a different population than is present in, Manhattan, New York City. And so if we want results from a cancer trial to really be broadly applicable to all those populations, you have to have patients participate from all of those different areas. As medical director of the research program here, that's what makes my job worthwhile. Many people, believe that being a cancer doctor is a very difficult job, and at times it really is. But there are also really gratifying things, and when we participate in trials and when we get results back from those trials that change how we treat, how we treat cancer and improve cancer treatments, that's what drives me.
Essentia's commitment to research helps deliver the best care possible to patients. For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medical insight.
Update any room of your home with Dutch Boy paint from Menards. Dutch Boy Forever is an interior paint and primer in one with Arm & Hammer odor-reducing technology. It offers advanced washability and stain resistance to block common household stains. Plus, we can tint your paint to match any color in your home. Pick up a gallon of Dutch Boy Forever paint and primer in one today for only $27.98 during Menards Home Improvement Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Join us weeknights. We're live at 5 as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, a few minutes ago, we talked about the overnight low temps, which once again got towards 27 below up north. Here's a look at the daytime highs, and they doubled really what we got yesterday. So 11 International Falls, 14 Ely, 15 Hibbing, 14 over the hill here in the Twin Ports, 17 in Superior, and for Hayward, 15 Ashland, 18 in Watersmeet, 21 Moose Lake, one of our warmer temperatures. That 30 being reported in Ironwood, I think, is an aberration, a little misfeed of information into the automated reporting system, because that just is double what many of the rest of the folks in the pack had. Hey, as we get through the weekend, though, there's a chance real 30 could come our way, so we go from the freezer and into the frying pan, so to speak. Our cold snap's going away, and now a warm spell is coming, and wedged in the middle of it is indeed a chance for snow that could begin late tomorrow night, but the better chance is Saturday night into Sunday. Happening right now at the airport in Duluth. Current temp 13. Southeast wind 9 miles per hour, and 30.5 inches of mercury is the air pressure, which is still high, but it's coming down slowly but surely, and so by tomorrow, lower pressure should increase clouds, increase temperatures, and by the weekend, give us a snow chance. 3 below in Watersmeet. So we're going to get a little bit cool here tonight, but not as bitterly cold as this morning. 9 above right now in Ironwood, 8 Ashland, 11 towards La Pointe, and La Prairie, and actually La Prairie's over towards Grand Rapids. 13, Hayward, 10, Solon Springs, 15 in Superior, 7 Grand Rapids, 5 in Moose Lake, 10 below, close to that already in Ely, getting to 5 below for Orr, so a little bit chilly, yeah. 10 below, though, is 20 degrees warmer than 30 below, so it's getting better slowly and again semi-surely. Current Doppler map shows clouds increasing from the west as our Arctic high pressure pulls back to the north and slides to the east. Taking a look at the situation then for Friday, as lower pressure comes our way, it'll be a cloudy day with only a few flurries, not a big deal. Again, the better chance for snow comes around on Saturday afternoon, Saturday night into Sunday morning. 30 to 40% chance for some snow, and if it pays off, it should pay off again. I'm thinking in the range of 2 to 4 inches for many of our towns. Though up the North Shore, there's a chance from Silver Bay up towards Grand Marais we could be in the 6-inch range. So snow fans, this may help your situation out just a little bit. Tonight in Minnesota, getting pretty chilly. 5 to 10 below perhaps for the Rangers, but 0 to 10 above for many of the rest of us. Wisconsin, Michigan numbers, about 4 to 7 above. Mostly cloudy sky for all zones, and it stays cloudy through Friday for Wisconsin and Michigan with high temps in the mid-20s. That's almost 5 degrees warmer than normal. 20 to 25 for Minnesota. That's pretty close to normal. And then it gets warmer than normal for the weekend, upper 20s with that snow chance both Saturday and Sunday. Then it dries up for Monday and Tuesday, and then warms up even farther by Wednesday and Thursday towards 30 degrees. That's when we get a chance for some flurries mixed in with perhaps a couple of sprinkles.
Thanks, Dave. Glen Sheen is helping visitors check out the mansion's 12-acre estate in a unique way. Every weekend through March, all members and tour guests who buy a full mansion tour can snowshoe the grounds for free. The mansion has been offering this for the past few years, but with so many more people getting outdoors this year, Glen Sheen staff are expecting increased turnout.
This year is really special because a lot of folks are looking for those outdoor activities, and Glen Sheen is really happy to be able to offer that opportunity for folks.
Glen Sheen is the perfect place if you're new to snowshoeing because it has flat and wide trails. Still ahead in sports, Thursday night face-off. Kelly's in with all the high school hockey highlights you need to see coming up next.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
I'm Carrie Harris, owner of Diabetic and Comfort Shoes. We have been in business in the Northland helping you with your everyday foot problems stemming from diabetes to plantar fasciitis for the past 17 years. Stop in and see the complete line of men's and women's shoes, from SAS to Allegria to Vionic, for those millions of people battling plantar fasciitis. And we still have a great selection of comfortable shoes for diabetics, Medicare and Minnesota healthcare approved. Remember, no foot problem is too big or too small. We'll find the way to your soul.
Even if you don't smoke, smoking-related illnesses cost you $593 every year. See how much we're all missing at missingitmn.org.
Join our team of supportive and creative individuals. Visit trilliumservice.com or call today to set up an interview.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day.
Watch Eye on Mining with Kristen Vaki every Tuesday at 10. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association, Range Regional Airport, and Miners National Bank of Evelyn. Only on live, local CBS3.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Vaki, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining, a fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Vaki. Tuesdays at 10 only on live, local CBS3. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association.
This year's been just a huge year. We've had everything going on with the pandemic. It's hard to not have your heart go out to those people, the millions that have been impacted by that. That's why we do what we do, to try and keep people in the know. What's going on with this? When is it going to end? When's the vaccine going to be here? How is this impacting you? Where are resources to help you get through the pandemic and keep you and your family safe through all of this?
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to live local CBS3.
Dominate any terrain on a Polaris snowmobile from Duluth Lawn and Sports.
There is nothing that we want more than students learning together safely.
And we only get to do that if we can all get through this together with everybody safe and healthy.
We can do this. We can do this.
Welcome into another edition of Thursday Night Face-Off. I am your host, Kelly Hinseth. Folks, week 3 of the high school hockey season has come and gone. We are starting to see who is emerging as those clear front runners this season. And I wanted to say Grand Rapids is certainly one of those teams to keep an eye on. Taking on Duluth East tonight. In the first, puck back to Jack Parrott at the point. Fakes his shot, then he rips it. Henry Sturl deflects it in. And JR gets in front early. To the second, this is how you draw it up. Tape to Twine. Parent finds a wide open Hunter Bischoff, and the Thunderhawks quickly make it 2-0. So we know they have precision and passing, but how about speed? Well, Garrett Dratz turns on the burners for the old give and go. 5-hole finish. Grand Rapids has no problem getting the shutout tonight. It's been smooth sailing for Hermantown hockey so far, but tonight was their first test against a AA opponent, taking on Cloquet Esco Carleton. Just a few minutes in, Hawks get an odd man rush. Joey Pierce feeds Cole Antcliffe. No chance at getting that one, rather. Less than 30 seconds later, they made sure the tone was set, and the ice was properly tilted in their direction. Aaron Pionk puts it home. The Hawks lead grows to 2. And if you're not sold on how good this team is, you probably are after tonight. Pierce fires a rocket from the point. Dominic Thomas gets a stick on it. It was 4-0. After a period, they go on to get the shutout as well. Our My 9 game of the night featured 2 teams up on the range. International Falls hadn't lost a game yet before this past Tuesday. Meanwhile, the Virginia Blue Devils looking to get above 500 up at Miners Memorial Arena tonight. Scoring begins not 2 minutes into the first period. Dylan Headley wraps around the goal and nets one. His first of the season, makes it 1-0, and that's how it would stay through the first 17 minutes. To the second period, more from number 24. Headley from just across the top of the circle rips the shot, and it pays. It's 2-0. You may have missed it there because of the camera angle. Here's the replay. An absolute rifle. Headley already doubles his scoring total on the year. Still in the second, not sure if they drew it up this way, but it works. Braden Tiedemann with a bit of backhanded handiwork from the slot. Logan Bialke with the tip-in. It's 3-0. I-Falls finally has an answer. Short-handed, no less. Parker Sivanen from the slot rips one in on the Blue Devils power play to cut the lead to 2. Virginia, though, answers right back. Bialke gets the second of the night with the rocket from the point to make it 4-1. And Virginia goes on to get a few more to win it 7-1 the final. And a pair of winless teams in search of their first win on the season. Duluth Marshall faced off against Moose Lake area. First period, Rebels generated 2-on-1. The captain, Adam Olson, chips it past the goaltender as the road team strikes first. It would stay that way until the second. Marshall fights back. Samuel Amat plays the puck off the boards and squeaks it through. Brand new ball game, tied at 1. Same period, the Hilltoppers take over for good. Pierce Gowan from right out front. He shoots, he scores. It's 2-1. Marshall. Hilltoppers get their first win, 5-1 the final. And in girls action, home opener for the unbeaten Proctor Hermantown Mirage. They hosted a hungry Superior squad in search of win number 1 in the season. Mirage wouldn't waste any time, just over a minute in. Initial shot by Michaela Finney is denied, but teammate Naya Seeger is there for cleanup duty. It's 1-0 Mirage. Same period. This time it's Macy Seeger. She brings up the puck, then fires a wrister to the back of the net. It's a 2-goal lead for Proctor Hermantown, and they would continue to attack. Hannah Kapanen gets one to go, making it 3-0 Proctor Hermantown. They go on to stay unbeaten with the 14-0 shutout. Other scores, Grand Rapids Greenway continues its tear, shutting out Hibbing Chisholm. Moose Lake area gets its first win of the season over Duluth. Well, stick around. We've still got more to come. You're watching Thursday Night Face-Off on CBS3 Duluth.
Join us weeknights. We're live at 5 as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Still hard to find a spot, just easier to park. Still the big move, just more moving. Still singing, just more in tune. Still the gang's all here, just less are we there yet. The Chevy family of SUVs, making life's journey just better.
Get a $5,500 cash allowance on most 2020 Equinox models. Plus, current Chevy owners with an eligible GM credit card get an additional $1,750 total allowance. Visit TrueNorthChevyDealers.com.
Don't let the weather ruin your day.
Covered by a winter storm watch.
Dave Anderson, Caitlin Moffat, and Peter Kavikauskas. The CBS3 weather team, tracking more than just severe storms. Dave.
Epilepsy can affect anyone with a brain.
It does not discriminate.
If you have a brain,
You can get epilepsy.
But here's something that's just as important to know.
anyone with a brain can affect epilepsy.
So let's use our brains to do just that.
Let's change the way people think about epilepsy.
To find cures.
Because if all of us can get epilepsy,
All of us
Can end epilepsy.
We just need to use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains to end epilepsy.
Fire threatens everything in its path. When it threatens our communities, we respond. We bring the fight to the front line. The Army National Guard stands ready because sometimes the front lines are in our own backyard. We will always be there when our community needs us the most. Find out more about serving your community part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Heart attacks and strokes happen, even in the midst of COVID-19. And at least one will occur while you're watching this. Heart attacks and strokes are medical emergencies. If you experience symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, do not delay seeking care. Call 911 immediately. Hospitals are prepared and can safely treat you. Visit cdc.gov/coronavirus to learn more.
Some things are just too important to leave out of your day. Make sure we aren't one of them. Live, local, CBS3.
Welcome back into Thursday Night Face-Off. Switching gears to the pros, the Minnesota Wild came into tonight tied for third place with the LA Kings in the West Division, and they closed out the series with the Kings tonight down at the X in St. Paul. We're just out of the game 3 seconds after puck drop, an outbreak of fisticuffs. Marcus Foligno and Curtis McDermott go at it, end up both in the penalty box with 5-minute majors. This could be an issue from their last game Tuesday night, so we're in for a good treat. So the first, Wild up 2-0 after goals from Marcus Johansson and Kevin Fiala. Again, Ian Cole out of the corner. Here comes Kareer Kaprizov down the middle, and he would smack it into the net for a 3-0 lead. Kings get as close as a goal late in the second period. Zach Parise over to Jonas Brodin. He shoots, but shot quickly saved by Jonathan Quick. Nick Buset at the net gets the rebound, shoots and gets the goal on the second effort. And the Wild do not fall to 500. They win 5-3 the final. Well, defensively, UMD tallied their best weekend this past series against Western Michigan. But like anything on Scott Sandelin's squad, it can always be better. The Bulldogs held Western to just 2 goals on the entire weekend. This upcoming series down in Oxford, the team is preparing for a similar gameplay from Miami. Sandelin has tinkered with his line charts throughout the year and spoke to the team finally starting to gel.
Overall, it hasn't been bad all year. It's just, just little things. Sometimes you have new lines, new partners, all those things that take time to get some, to gel and get some chemistry. But overall, it's been pretty good. And I think that's probably been the one area of our game that from the beginning of the year that's probably been, for the most part, the most consistent with the exception of a few little detail things.
Coach we're kind of changing stuff up, like you said, down low and stuff, and I think it's kind of working for us. And we're obviously got to work on it, but I think as long as we do that, it can only get better. I think it probably our best so far, but I think we can definitely work on it more.
And we've got another jam-packed weekend of college hockey in store for this UMD men's team. Both games against Miami University will be on the My9 Sports Network. Join us for Puck Drop on Friday at 6 p.m. and Saturday at 4 p.m. After graduating one of the best goaltenders in program history and a captain on defense, you wouldn't necessarily expect the UMD women's hockey team to be putting up elite defensive numbers this season. But that's exactly what they're doing. A credit to their D-corps and a new netminder in Emma Soderberg that has stepped up in a big way. The Bulldogs have allowed just 2 goals in their last 4 games and have the best goals against average in the WCHA at 1.2. They made it very tough for even the best teams in the country to put goals on the board.
I think it shows responsibility in our game, more of an emphasis on keeping the play in front of our D, which we talk about a lot, maybe instead of making super aggressive, risky plays at the blue line.
Well, I think having Emma back there has given us a lot of confidence. We're able to make the simple passes because we know that she's there to support us, and she's definitely making the saves that we need her to make, and she's making the saves that she probably shouldn't even make. So it's definitely helpful to have her back there with us.
And this weekend, they'll welcome in St. Cloud State to Duluth, a team they outscored 9-1 in their previous series back in December. Well, that's going to do it for Thursday Night Face-Off. We'll be right back after the break.
Change the future of medicine from the convenience of home. Join the All of Us research program to help improve health research and speed up medical breakthroughs. Visit essentialhealth.org/allofus to learn more.
Your students, your patients, your customers, your family. You've got a lot of people relying on you. And that's why you trust Mediacom. With 99.99% proven network reliability, Mediacom keeps your home and business running. We know when your internet works, your life works. So we work around the clock to ensure you get the most reliable connection possible.
Everybody likes something for nothing. Now at Home Furniture, when you spend $2.99 for something, like this sofa, you'll pay nothing down, nothing for interest until 2022, nothing for sales tax, and nothing for shipping. Shop your favorite furniture and mattresses, and you can have them with nothing down, nothing for interest until 2022, nothing for sales tax, and nothing for shipping. Now that's something. The Something for Nothing sale ends Sunday, and only at Home Furniture. There's no place like home.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Our schools provide so much more than just learning support.
The school year didn't start out the way that we wanted it to, but who's to say it won't be better at the end?
We need to slow the spread so our economy has a chance to recover.
So our kids can be in school and be on the ice.
And we can keep our friends and families safe. For our students and teachers.
For our essential workers.
For the people you love.
Thank you for doing your part. Go Hunters!
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me to understand how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men, celebrating 30 years in business in 2021 with 30% off store-wide, downtown Duluth.
Well, thank you so much for watching Thursday Night Face-Off. As a reminder, we are your home for high school highlights all this season. Good night, everybody.